This is Transit Connect episode number 11. So if you was watching in the last episode, you know that I finished fitting the turbo to the van, went out, done a little bit of mapping, and the first thing that happened was the clutch slipped. So I found a spare Saturday, and I've got a helper. He's over there putting his overalls on. So today we're going to I've got a second-hand clutch to go in the van. I've got a new radiator to go on the van. What else have I got? A rocker cover gasket because I've got a little bit of an oil leak. I've also got, if we go over here, as everyone does, have laying around, under the bench, I've got a Mark 1 Focus RS gearbox, so I'm going to chuck that in there as well, so then it'll have a Quaife diff and maybe it'll drive a bit nicer, who knows. So yeah, let's crack on, see how it goes. Okay, so it's looking a right state at the minute. Didn't realise how messy it looks when it all starts stripping down. We've got the battery out again, had to take the relocation kit out. Jamie's undone all the top bell housing bolts, loosened off the top mount. Gonna start taking the gear selector cables off. Yeah, getting there, isn't it, mate?
Slowly but surely.
Indeed. So we stripped the one of the drive shafts out, and I completely forgot that this inner CV gate was split. So I'm gonna have to rebuild that gator while I just let Jamie carry on with getting the gearbox out. So that's what's next, start rebuilding the shaft. So I cut the gator off and, you know, just threw it in the bin and then slid the out joint off. All I've got to do is take that little tiny circlip off there and then tap that off the end of the joint, and then I can fit the new gator. It's a tri-lobal type gator, so you can't just use like universal one, because obviously it's got to be that triangle shape because the end of the cup's triangle. So yeah, that sort of goes in there like that. So get in there. So I stripped the little tri-lobal bearings off the end of the shaft, took the circlip off obviously, tapped it off, fitted the new gator, which isn't clipped on or anything yet, it's just loose. And so now I'm just going to give the inside of the joint a bit of a clean out, repack it with some new grease, and then fit the new clips. Put the new clips on, crimp it up, and then that shaft's ready to go back in. Jamie's just fitting the clutch over there, gearbox is drying off outside, so getting there slowly. And that is the drive shaft, all built up, done, ready to go back in the car. Give it a wipe over, a little clean, and that's it. All ready to go. So while I've been over by the bench rebuilding the drive shaft, old Jamie boy's got the gearbox out. It's obviously really oily, where it's, you know, got mega oil leaks. I've got the Mark 1 RS box out from underneath the bench. I've covered it in like a mild acid just to try and soak some of the dust and crap and oil off of it. So just letting that soak in, then I'll give that a wash off. The gearboxes, casing wise, are pretty much the same. The 2 litre Focus and the Mark 1 RS share the same bell housing, and also the Transit Connect 1.8 also shares the same, which is quite handy. So this box should be a direct fit. You know, all the drive shafts should be interchangeable and stuff like that. Don't know about the selectors yet. They look very similar, so just have to see what happens, but they're not exactly too hard to swap over anyway. They're just a load of little bolts. The clutch I'm going to be using is a second-hand clutch that we had laying around in our scrap pile pretty much, so giving it a little clean. It's literally just a standard clutch out of a Mark 1 Focus RS. It has seen better days, but it's not quite on the rivets yet, and you know, labour's free for me, so I don't mind doing this sort of stuff, because you know, if it goes wrong and it doesn't work, then I'll just buy another one and fit it for free. That's a 2 litre flywheel that I'm swapping to as well, because the flywheel and the clutch is a little bit different to the Transit Connect petrol one, which I've noticed they share a slightly different flywheel, and it's a smaller clutch, and it's probably why it slips anyway. So yeah, that's next. Fit the flywheel, fit the clutch, give the box a clean off, and then get it back in the hole. AJ?
Yeah, mate.
Innit? Right. I'll crack on then. So the clutch and flywheel are all fitted. Using that Allen key to lock up the flywheel so we can tighten it up. Like that. Little trick there. For the eagle-eyed of you, yes, these are the wrong cover bolts. Ford no longer make them anymore. You can get the flywheel to crankshaft bolts. You can't get the cover bolts anymore unless you buy a complete clutch. And consider it's the van, you know, I'm not really going to do that. They're probably not the right grade of bolt or something like that. But honestly, I'm really not bothered if it fails, because it is just a van and it is just a bit of fun. So yeah, that's in there now. James just, you know, blown all the water off the gearbox. Time to fit the box, isn't it? So yeah, see you in a bit. gearbox is in. I had to sort of like lever the back of the engine forward to make it a bit easier, but I levered it forward and then Jamie manhandled the gearbox in because it just gets caught on the edge of the subframe there, so you don't have much room, especially when you've got a really deep clutch kit like the Martin RS uses. But other than that, the box is in the hole. It's a bit wibbly wobbly, obviously, just hanging off the engine mount and a big axle stand under the sump. So gonna start putting all the bell housing bolts in, put the top mount back on, start putting the clutch line in, the gear cables. I'd love to tidy all this crap up, but it's just probably never gonna happen. Put drive shafts back in, bit of gearbox oil, and that's it. So yeah, cracking on. So currently sitting in the van, and we put the top mount on and a couple of the bell housing bolts and then the clutch line, and now bleeding the clutch out. Because a lot of people make the mistake of like putting the gearbox in, building it all back up, and then troubling the clutch and find there's a problem. Down, down, it's down. Yeah, they build the gearbox all back up with all the shafts and everything, and then realise there's a problem. So now the first thing we do is a couple of bolts, put the top mount on the gearbox, and then bleed the clutch out to make sure it all feels fine before we go any further. So that's what we're doing now. Done? Should I see what it feels like? Well, yeah, that feels alright, you know. Definitely a lot heavier than what the van clutch felt like. But then that's to be understandable, really. Yeah, man, that feels alright. Don't even feel airy or anything. Makes a change for the first bleed. Cool. Can't wait to see what it drives like. So I thought while the van's on the ramp and, you know, we're doing the gearbox and the clutch, which is all pretty much in now. Drive shafts are in, back mount's back on. Other drive shafts in, just got to put some gearbox oil in it. What else? More bell housing bolts to put in and do up, and then just the cables and stuff like that. But I thought while it's up in the air on the ramp, for the sake of a couple of bolts, I'll change the radiator, because mine was showing signs of leaking down in the bottom corner here. Not bad, but I know it was going to let me down when I really didn't need it, and all the fins are all mushed and all the front's a bit corroded and stuff. So I bought a new rad, which I had sitting next to my toolbox for the best part of a couple of weeks, and I've pulled it out the box to fit it, and I've noticed that the bottom hose on this rad comes out straight, and the hose on this one comes out down at an angle, which is great. So other than that, it's exactly the same. It looks like it will fit. All the mountings are the same, all the, you know, all the little fittings and stuff for the fan. But I rung up the supplier because it'd be nice to have the right rad. I could probably make it fit if I just made a bottom hose up. But I spoke to the supplier, and he said that he's had it before on the Transit Connects, and he's saying that the radiator that's fitted to my van is for a van with aircon, and I've asked for a rad without aircon because my van doesn't have aircon, and they sent me this one. And so I don't know if it's an issue with their system, but 2 car part suppliers have said exactly the same thing now. So I need a rad with aircon, not without. So if I said that my van had aircon, I'd have got sent one of them. So, but the thing is, it's a Saturday, no one's got one, so I can either fit this rad, muck about with the bottom hose and make it work, or I could just wait, send it back. It only takes 10 minutes to get the rad off, which unfortunately I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to stick that rad back in, plumb it all back up, which is quite disheartening, and then just wait till Monday or next week when they can get me the right rad, and hopefully they'll do a deal on it, because I told them it's my own van. So that's next. Put my old rad back in, and then carry on with the clutch and stuff. Need to put some gearbox oil in it as well, saying that. So yeah, just topped out with antifreeze. Well, filled it up with antifreeze rather. The rad's back in, the radiator, the trimmed radiator fan's back in, if you remember in the last video. Jamie's just doing some more of the top bolts and the gear selector cables. I've got to put the battery relocation kit back in, the top boost hose. Oh, I've got to torque the wheels up, don't want to forget that. Yeah, so not bad, nearly done. So the battery's back in, all the gear cables are on, everything up top's all tight as it should be. Jamie's literally just manhandling the boost pipe back into place, so once that's in and a couple of Jubilee clips, can run it up. Make sure we've got no airlocks in the cooling system. I've torqued the wheels up, maybe go for a little drive. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it, JJ?
It does indeed.
Yeah, so yeah, get in there. You having fun?
Yeah.
Don't forget the Jubilee clip.
It's on.
How's it? What about the bottom one?
It's off. We would have left it on there, that's why I just shut it on.
Yes. Okay, van's all back together. First start, I haven't started the van today yet, obviously because it's sat on the ramp overnight, so this is going to be cold start test. I've not done much on the cold start map of the KMS. It's literally on a base map, so you know, I don't know how well it's going to start, so we'll soon see. You know what, considering the base mat, considering it's just a base mat, that actually runs quite well. Quite happy with that. But yeah, it runs. Woohoo! Only drives. I reckon a little road test is on the cards. So, van's all done, out on a little bit of a road test. Yet to check to see if the clutch actually holds out. It bites really, really high, but then I was kind of expecting that because it was pretty much a worn out clutch anyway. But as long as it holds out and don't slip, then that's all I really care about. But there's a lot of traffic, so I'm finding it really hard to actually find anywhere to test it. Okay. You ready? You ready, Jamie? Whoa! That's better. Yes, the clutch does not slip. Ooh, funky smell though, where everything's getting on. Now we need to do some mapping. Then it'll be more fun. I better go better if we sort the map out and pull some fuel out of it. So that is the van done for today, I suppose. Kind of like got bored and run out of time there. It's a little bit late anyway. So all I really need to do now is a little bit of mapping on the van, and then yeah, just see what happens really. Could do with getting it down to the dyno at some day, but I want to do a little bit more road mapping, just make it start and drive a little bit nicer, you know, more OEM kind of thing. I might do like a little mini video of just like mapping. I might like strap a GoPro to my head and then just, you know, sit in the passenger seat of the van while my mate drives and just do a proper bit of live mapping. So if you want to see that, you know, just comment, just drop a comment in the, you know, in the description sort of thing, and just let me know if you want me to do that, and I will. Other than that, thanks for watching my videos. You know, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Cheers. There's the thumbs up that someone said I didn't do last time. Thanks very much. Bye.